Howdy, ladies and gentlemen. This is Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Thomas Jefferson said, "If you want something you've never had, you must be willing to do something you've never done." Benjamin Franklin said, "Without continual growth and progress, such words as improvement, achievement, and success have no meaning." Basically, get off your duff, get to working, you've got dreams, you've got goals, you've got to do what it takes to get them. Like, subscribe, comment, show what your opinion is. Let me know if you like what you've seen. And I thank you for your support. So, Iran has elected a new president. His name is Masoud Pezeshkian. And congratulations to him. I mean, he's got a pretty cool office. Not actually got much power. And that's what it's kind of hilarious to read these news articles and hear they're bragging on this gentleman. Washington Post, Iranian reformist wins presidency, seeks engagement with the West. Seriously, there comes a point where these news people need to either realize that they don't know much or that they are trying to hide information. Because we're going to go into a little bit about Iranian politics and why there's not going to be more engagement with the U.S. There might be with other Western powers, but not with the U.S. It isn't that good of news for the U.S., but we'll talk about that. Okay, when it comes to Iran, these news articles all are predicated on, oh, the presidency in Iran has so much power. Well, here's the chain of command. You have the very top, basically who Ayatollah Khomeini, the current person holding the office that Ayatollah Khomeini held, is known as the Supreme Leader of Iran. The current Supreme Leader of Iran, his name is Ali Khamenei. Basically, hey, he's the head. He would be what we would consider the president here. Underneath him is the President of Iran and the Prime Minister of Iran. Oh wait, the post was abolished in 1989. Why? Because it had no power and they just gave everything over to the presidency. What little they actually do. You have leadership, executive, legislative, judicial, supreme councils, local governments, elections, political parties and factions. These are how this is broken down. And foreign relations is like near the bottom of the list of what they actually care about. Because you have the leadership, even when you're just talking about the leadership, the supreme leader, something known as guardianship of the Islamic jurist, which is the top judge, and then you have the assembly of experts, and then you have the presidency, and then the first vice president, then the supervisor presidential administration, then the cabinet. So every time you read all these articles talking about how this president is going to do this amount of good, yada, yada, yada. No, they're not. They have somebody that they've got to answer to, and the person that they're answering to is part of the Ayatollahs. They don't tell you this. That is the really sad part. They don't tell you this. So, we are not going to be having any positivity coming out of this election. I'm glad that this gentleman is a reformist and all this, but we aren't going to see a change. Iran is a theocracy. End of story. And we're the cause of that theocracy. They are never going to trust us. No matter how many reforms happen in that country, I can guarantee you that they will never trust us in Iran. It's all because of the Dulles brothers and because of the British government that they won't. After World War II, they started having some autonomy there in Iran. And as they were gaining autonomy, they gained a prime minister. They got rid of the Shah and they gained a prime minister who was considered a middle of the road kind of person. He didn't want to be part of the communist bloc folks, and he didn't want to be part of the American allies. He wanted to, along with several other world leaders, by the way, wanted to be middle of the road, not taking part in any of the modern struggles. So, the British government got upset with them because part of the government policy was to take away the power of foreign governments that controlled natural resources. Basically, they nationalized them. And the British got mad, but they couldn't do anything about it, so they went to the Americans. And at the time that they went to America, you had the Dulles brothers. One brother was in charge of the CIA, one brother was in charge of the State Department, and both the brothers went to Eisenhower and convinced him to let them get the Shah back in power. It was nasty. It was against the will of the people of Iran. And the Shah held a brutal dictatorship for several years. Well, to get rid of one brutal dictatorship, there had to be the rise of another dictatorship to be able to be powerful enough to take over that one. And that is where we got the Ayatollahs, the whole American hostages getting taken. Those people are still in charge. The original people might be dead or dying at this point that were in charge of the revolution that occurred in Iran. But their ideas still last. You talk to any Persian, and I've talked to quite a few. The Persian culture is something I wish I could enjoy the language of better. Being tone deaf, I'm horrible with languages. But that's what we need, is to understand just exactly how the government is divorced from the people. I mean, women now have to wear the head coverings. I mean, that's the point. They've taken away so many freedoms over there. And oh, by the way, not only have their freedoms been curtailed, they're one of Russia's biggest allies. They may not be part of BRICS, but they are a major ally of Russia. Germany sells them things, such as the centrifuges that Siemens sold them for their nuclear program. People are willing to sell them things, and people are willing to buy their oil and other things. Oh, yeah, what's that? America's buying oil from them right now. No, they are not our ally. They will never be our ally unless they have a radical shift in that government. They learned, because of the Dulles brothers, that they couldn't trust us. Ooh, there's a reformer in there. Oh, this is boding good, and he wants to talk good to the Westerners. Well, of course he wants to talk to those that he can buy products from. Does not mean that he's going to ever trust the U.S. That government is all set up to hate us because of what we did to that country, and also what we continue to do. There is not going to be any reform. So the office of the presidency isn't going to do anything. Why? Because the supreme leader doesn't like us. Don't take the bait that these newspaper articles and magazine articles all come out with saying, oh, look at these reformers. Until you have a massive reformer being the supreme leader, no, the office of the presidency of Iran is not going to be any good for anybody. But I thought I'd just bring this up, since with the election of this new gentleman, they keep going, oh, reformer. It doesn't mean anything for the U.S. It really doesn't. And it's pathetic that the media keeps trying to make it sound like it is. This has been Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Y'all think about this, and y'all have a good day now. Bye.